Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was working outside and I'm like, you know what, let me take a break and let me break open that pack of ramen noodles that I found. I hit the jackpot, ladies and gentlemen. I hit the jackpot. Let me explain. I put away a pack of ramen noodles. It was like a pack of 4. Here it is, about 12, 13 years ago, okay? And I found it downstairs while I was looking for stuff that I was going to take on our trip where we went to Circle. Check out that video, upper right hand corner. It was a really fun video to make and it was a fun trip. But anyways, I found this as I was looking for some things to take with me on the road just in case, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot all about this. This is one of my very first things that I put away as far as being a prepper, a full-blown prepper. Right? And it was some ramen noodles. And we're going to open these. These have never been opened. I put them away around the year 2012 or so, which was the beginning of my prepper journey. So what we're going to do today is, if this works out, where sealing your ramen noodle like this for over 10 years makes it to where the ramen noodles themselves do not go rancid, this is going to be a huge breakthrough as far as I'm concerned, because it means that not only can you prep equipment on the cheap, like this little stove that we're going to go ahead and test out today to heat up the water to make our ramen noodles, but you can also prep the cheapest of cheap foods on the cheap, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be comfortable knowing that it will last over a decade if you properly put it away. Now, as you can see, there's no oxygen absorber in here or anything like that. It's just ramen noodle packs, and obviously I used a food saver to vacuum seal it. So we're going to go ahead and test this out, but that's not all. I've got something else that you may be interested in seeing how it did over time. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, obviously I can't be eating ramen noodles and candy bars, you know, like I used to, because I am a diabetic. But today I'm going to make that sacrifice just to see if these are any good and if those ramen are any good. Now, I know that if those ramen are bad, I'll be able to tell right away. Why? Because they'll smell rancid. For those of you that don't know, from what I understand, ramen noodles are not made like traditional noodles are made. They are deep fried.
Initially too moist and tender for long-term pantry storage. To overcome this, the noodles undergo a steam cooking process, during which they are exposed to high temperatures. This step contributes to the development of their ultimate flavor and texture. Next, they undergo a quick frying process that removes moisture and makes them crispy, facilitating long-term storage. This rapid cooking process aims to stabilize the structure of the noodles and remove excess surface starch.
Now, these candies, I was able to see one of the Best Buy dates, I think on one of these Snickers bar, and it was like 2015. So if that was the Best Buy date, I'm going to say that I probably got these around 2012, 2013, around the same time that I did those ramen noodles. And as you can see, this here has actually lost a bit of its seal. So I'm very interested to see if this is still good. And I'm going to say that it probably is. Why? Because it's sugar and fat. And the peanuts, although those have fat that will go rancid over time, they are completely covered in a sugar shell, i.e. the chocolate. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear a buzzing noise in the background, I apologize. I am in our new kitchen here. It's almost done. We've got someone coming over this weekend to do the backsplash and to do the handles and everything. We're trying to do everything just right. So we're taking our time and trying to do it as best as we can. But if you hear a small buzz in the background, it's because my Mega 5 over here on this side is picking up a lot of solar. We're getting in about 600 and something watts of solar coming in, which is always very well appreciated. So the first thing we're going to do is cut this open and give it a sniff, and obviously take a look at it and see if it even smells like it's edible, okay? And of course, we're going to go ahead and find a date on these. Let me smell the package to begin with. Oh no, it doesn't smell very good. One more time. I guess, I don't know, it kind of smells a little musky. We're going to have to see though, but here's the package right here. I'm going to find the date on it and show you all what the date is. So I hope that you can see this, ladies and gentlemen. There is the date down there. It is August 4th of 2012. Let me see if I can bring this really close so that you can see that. See that, August 4th of 2012. Now we're going to go ahead and open this up. Actually, it's already a little open here because the plastic is kind of old, but it doesn't smell terrible from there. I think that when I originally opened it, it was probably more of the plastic being old. And I know this is terrible for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is terrible stuff. Make sure you look at the ingredients on this. This is cheap survival food. You have to remember that in the end, great survival food like Nutrient Survival, which gives you all the nutrients that you need, right? That's great food to have. But in the end, calories are king and they will keep you alive. Maybe not long term, maybe they won't allow you to strive, but they will keep you alive. And this is, in my opinion, the cheapest of the cheap kind of food that you can put away for long term. So we're going to go ahead and take out, there you go. And just in case some of you weren't able to see, now I'm assuming that this is the best buy date, which means that I purchased it prior to this date here. There you go. August 4th of 2012. And I decided to kneel down here. That way I didn't have to adjust my camera up and down. But this is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It actually looks pretty good. Now let's give it a smell. Man, it smells a little bit musty, but it doesn't really smell like the oil went bad on it. It doesn't really smell rancid. So this is what we're going to do with this thing. I'm going to grab me a couple of cups of water, bring it to a boil, go ahead and get this to where it's like supposed to be able to be good to eat, you know, nice and soft like noodles. And then I'm going to give it a sniff test in front of you all after it's cooked. If it doesn't smell right because maybe it smells a little rancid after you heat it up and the oils come out of it, I'm going to dump the water. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this with fresh water, bring it back to a boil and see what it smells like then. If it smells all right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and put our little beef flavor package in there if it's any good because it's still sealed, and I'll give it at least a taste test. I do this, ladies and gentlemen, so that you don't have to. Now let's take a look at our little prepping on the cheap camping stove that we have here. Here is the name of it, is a Snivio camping stove. If that's how you pronounce it, I'm pretty sure that you don't. But this is just a cheap little camping stove that it has a pretty impressive size as far as the BTU goes. It says it has between 3,500 and 3,900 watts of power. Well, if you take this to convert it to BTU, I do believe this, you multiply it times 4.1. So this thing is coming up close, if not over 15,000 BTU out of this one burner stove. Let's take a look at what it comes with, because this was not a bad price. This was like $22 or $25, something like that. So for a 15,000 single burner BTU camping stove that has the peripherals that this has, I think it's a great deal. And let me show you what I mean about the peripherals. This brings a connector that will hook up to a butane isopropyl gas. And that's what this is right here. However, it comes with an adapter where I do believe that this is so that you can hook up the butane cans. You know, the cans that they look like a spray paint can, but it's really butane? That's what this one is for, I believe. Yes, it is, right here. And it also comes with an adapter for your regular propane green canisters. So just these two things alone, if you were to buy them by themselves, you're looking at about $15 to $20. So for a $21, $25 stove unit that brings these two, I think it's a great deal. And of course, we're going to leave it the way it is so that we can use our isopropyl butane canister. And now all we have to do to show you the rest of this thing is just go ahead and open it up. It's a very simple stove, ladies and gentlemen. And it doesn't have anything really fancy on it. But for, like I said, for 21 bucks, this little thing, you can't beat it. Check this out. The hose is nice and long, so you don't have to have your fuel right next to it. And it even has a pizzo starter. Check this out. Man, you can't beat that for 21 bucks. All right, I hope that that's enough light for you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can see everything. My light quit on me. So I went ahead and hooked up our butane, or isopropyl butane, okay, or butane isopropyl butane. Listen, look at this. Butane isobutane propane. So I'm just going to call it butane from now on, okay? It's a lot easier. We're going to go ahead and start it up. Now here is our flame adjuster or gas adjuster, however you want to call it. All right, I like it that it's over here and not over here on the body. So let's go ahead and turn this on. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it or not. And right there I can hear it. There you go, and it took me a few tries because it had to bleed through the line. But that right there is not very high. Check this out. It's got pretty good adjustment control. Look at that. That's low right there. I really think that is great, that it's got that much control with just this little knob. And obviously, let's bring it all the way high so you can see what it looks like. That right there is on high. Let's bring it back down to low so that we can go ahead and start our water. Here's our water. There's 2 cups in there. Let's put it here where it's nice and stable. There you go. And now we're going to turn it on. Oh, wait a minute here. There you go. All right, we're going to start our timer right now, about 5 seconds before now, and see how long it takes for this water to come to a boil. Now I am going to consider that a boil. And now it's rolling. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, was just under 2 minutes. I would say maybe a second or two. And now that it's come to a boil, we're going to go ahead and put our noodles in there. I'm going to go ahead and get a fork and see if we can get it all the way down in there. I really don't want to have the flame running at the same time. I think that this water is hot enough to break the noodles down so that they'll get under the water level. Now, one thing that I did notice, because this has such a high flame, I'll show you. Let me go ahead and, there you go. That went right down in there, no problem. I think that's going to be plenty good to make sure that that comes and gets nice and soft. Because you do know that this is already cooked, the ramen noodles. Like I said, they're deep fried. So they're already cooked. You can actually eat these without putting them in water and softening them up. Excuse me. So one thing that I noticed, because of the flame was so high, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but you see this? You have to be careful where you place the cup, because it got into a little bit of this handle right here, the rubber on the handle. But no harm, no foul, really. Let's give this a couple of minutes so that it can soften up, and then we'll bring it right back. Actually, while this is softening up, let's go ahead and open our candy bars, right? First, we will see what we've got. Man, these are old. I'm very excited about these because you know what? I'm pretty sure these are still good, with as old as they are. But what excites me is that these pack a lot of calories, right, and a lot of sugar. If you were in a situation where maybe you had to get home and you were a few miles away and you knew you were going to need a few calories to get you that extra oomph that you needed to make it over the hill, this right here will work, ladies and gentlemen, along with other candies. Oh, look at this. That's one of those, it's not really a drink, it's like a paste that marathoners and runners use. That I didn't remember putting in there. And then here's another Snickers bar. And then here is a Milky Way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Milky Ways is kind of a big bummer. I even went out and got my magnifying glass. And there's no way you're going to be able to see this. Look. Because it's bent. I don't even know if you can see that like that. And the numbers are so small. But looking at it through the magnifying glass, I can make out February 9th of 2015. February 9th or February 4th. One or the other of 2015. Let's take a look and see what the dates of these are. They should be about the same dates, I would say. Because they don't sit on the shelves that long. And they can't let them stay on the shelves over their Best Buy date. This one is May 20th of 2015. I'll see if you can see this one. Hopefully you can. There you go. I'm going to do this. Hopefully that you can see it. May 20th of 2015. So It's very plausible that this is a 2015 bar as well. Let's take a look at this big one here. Oh, this one is nice. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one is great. What is it here? This one is... Oh, my goodness. Best before... Are you kidding me? These guys must be playing a joke on me, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Best before 201, and it's missing the actual last digit of the year. This is crazy. Look at that. Best before 201. I'm assuming this is 2015 as well. So we know for sure that this one's 2015. But I'm assuming this one is as well. I'm going to save this one for another day. Okay? And we'll try this out maybe in another 5 years or so. But first, we have to try our ramen. And it looks like our ramen is about ready. And look at this. This is looking good. I would think that the older that it gets, the easier that it would dissolve into the water. But we're probably just eating foam here. You know how they say that ramen is just like foam that people are eating? But it looks actually pretty good. I'm going to give it a smell. Ladies and gentlemen, that actually smells pretty darn good. I don't think I'm very afraid to try it. It smells like ramen is supposed to smell. It doesn't smell rancid whatsoever. Let's open up that beef packet and see if I even want to add it to the ramen, because sometimes with those spice packets, they get really hard. And if that's how this one is, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to try the ramen on its own. Usually you can go like this, right? Let's see if that works. Nope, that didn't really move the beef around any. Let's go ahead and open this up. Actually, it looks pretty good. It's a powder. And it smells good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home. I do this so that you don't have to. But if you ever find yourself one day where you're starving to death, hey, even if this smelled rancid and I thought it was rancid, I would still eat it to make it to fight another day. Let's give this a sniff. Man, I'm really excited, to tell you the truth. I think this is going to be good, but time will tell as soon as I taste it. And there it is. Let's work on a thumbnail. All right, let's give it a try. Only a little bit. I can't eat too much of this stuff. The dogs are sniffing it, and I think that they're going to be eating some of this. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I don't just talk to talk, all right? I walk the walk, and I hope that this is going to be a pleasant walk. Man, I have to tell you, this has the very beginning stages of rancidity. For those of you that don't know what rancidity is, it's when oils get oxidized and they become rancid. Now, I've done a little bit of research on oils that become rancid, on whether they are going to harm you physically or not. And what I came up with is that rancid oils will not poison you. Do your own research. That if you eat something that has rancid oils in it, enough of it, that it may make you feel, your stomach feel bad, right? Like get a stomach ache, get a little indigestion, but that your body will still absorb the calories. And that's what's the most important thing. And this has the very, very beginning stages of rancidity, of how it tastes. But you know what? I can eat this entire cup. There's nothing wrong with it as far as it being like, you're not going to gag if you try this. I'm going to try a little bit of the broth to see how the beef flavoring made it. This is actually pretty good. Okay, I could eat this no problem whatsoever. And I know there's going to be so many people out there that say, AP, that's got GMOs. AP, that's not good for you, etc. I'm not doing that for these people and for the people that can afford to put away good food for long term. I.e., put away your own pasta. Put away your own rice, beans, all of those things, etc. Let me plug the very best in freeze-dried foods in the entire market, and that's Nutrient Survival. It's got all of the vitamins, minerals, everything that you need in order to thrive. This, ladies and gentlemen, with this, Just kidding. I'm trying to get the best thumbnail. This, you can survive. A packet of ramen like this has, I believe, is called 2 servings of like 190 or so calories. That's 400 calories for this. And even though they are like 3 or 4 times more expensive now than what they used to be a few years ago, you can still get a whole bunch of calories for real cheap. And if you pack it the way that you saw me pack it, I would assume that it's going to last just as long. Now, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, that I would actually rather eat the rest of that ramen than to eat candy. I'm not really a sweets kind of a guy. I'd rather have 2 servings of regular food that's savory than to have 1 serving and then sweets, I say dessert. But I changed my mind. I think we're only going to open this one, and we're going to save these 2 for like another 5 years, okay? So this one right here is 2015, best buy date. What do I think I'm going to see when I open this? I think I'm going to see blooming. And blooming is when chocolate is oxidized. However, this has milk chocolate, which has a high concentration of fat. So we will see if, in addition to the blooming, that the fat was oxidized also and it tastes rancid. I just don't think that it will because of all of the sugar that's in this stuff. So let's open it. This looks great. There's almost no blooming whatsoever. This is amazing. Look, ladies and gentlemen. There's almost no blooming, and here's the. Let's get this real quick. I don't want people to doubt. I don't want you to doubt that maybe I changed these out. Let's see. Can you see this? I hope that you can see that right there. Okay. So this is the same one that I'd already shown you from 2015. What was the actual month on it? It was before May. I think it was something May 2015. So May of 2015. It's the same one that I showed you before. And this looks perfect. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it at all. Look, no blooming. There's like no blooming. Incredible. Let's go ahead and cut it in the middle. See what it looks like. It is a little bit hard, but that's to be expected. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is back when they used to actually put peanuts in the Snickers bar, and it looks just fine. And this smells really good for someone that hasn't had sweets in a while. That smells super, super good. Let's see. Take a look at this. Let me see. I always mess this up. Here we go. Take a look at that. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is that same piece. Look at this. I mean, this is 10 years. This was made about 10 years ago. Same thing with the ramen. All right, actually, the ramen a lot longer. It was about 12, 13 years for the ramen. Can you believe that that ramen is still good? I'm going to go ahead and take those 3 other bags of ramen that we have there and seal them up again. And then go ahead and seal them up with the Snickers bar that we have left and the Milky Way and that Runner's gel. I'm going to seal it back up with a food saver, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it away for like another 5 years. Oh, great. I'm really excited for 5 years from now to go by. Hopefully the SHTF doesn't happen before 5 years so that we can give that another try and see what it's like. Anyways, let's give it a try. I know it's going to be good. It smells good. It looks good. This is a treat. It's very, very tasty. I'm trying to find something that might be wrong with it, but there's nothing wrong with it. It tastes just fine. So if you like your sweets, and I highly recommend that you put sweets away for long term. Lulu, what are you doing? Lulu's down here trying to make a mess of everything, ladies and gentlemen. She can smell the ramen and probably the Snickers bar as well. Anyways, like I was saying, I highly recommend that you put away comfort foods. If not for yourself, then for maybe your children or for barter. Imagine what someone would get for this if they no longer made them and you just couldn't get candy anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Well, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. I will leave that stove linked on a pinned comment if you want to go check it out on my Amazon storefront. And put away your comfort foods, and don't be afraid of putting away ramen for long term as long as you completely seal it. This time around, when I go ahead and reseal those, I think I'll be putting in some oxygen absorbers in there as well. That can only help. It won't hurt. Have a great day. Thank you very much for joining in. This was an awesome little experiment. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.